Alright guys, welcome to Doozer Shop. This is a bit of a scattered and disjointed Covel 512 grinder update. I didn't mean to tear into this, it just sort of happened. It wasn't even boredom. I was trying to run the spindle. I run the spindle occasionally just so the bearings, the grease stays distributed, and then I got into cleaning and it just turned into this. Let me take you handheld and let me show you some of the cleaning progress I've done. So here we go. Alright. So, alright, let me step back. So in case you were... So that's the machine, right? 512 H for hydraulic. Pretty cool. Back you up my videography skills. So the table is off. A couple of my subscribers were wondering about the wells and the rollers for the lubrication. There's spring-loaded plungers that go in the center that lubricate. The spring-loaded plunger that has like a little roller thing that rolls on the flat way, and then there's the same similar deal that rolls on the V way, and there's 4 of them. So the center hole is the plunger. All right, the center hole is the plunger, and the corner hole is the oil feed from the bottom. Okay. Plunger for the bottom. Okay, this one's got oil in it, and that was working. Ow. And this one had filled some of the way up with oil, so that was mostly working. So when I say Doozer lubricator, right? Bridgeports have these. This is a round one. Right, it actually says Doozer. B-I-J-U-R, brand name Doozer, B-I-J, right, Doozer, whatever. Oh, it even says on the handle too. But anyhow, you pull this up and you take a slurp and the spring pushes it down. So this was taken off the machine because the line got kinked moving it with a forklift. I didn't do it, but I fixed it and I put ATF in it, right? Little ATF. And then I pumped it to see what would happen. Well, that one started filling up. That one started filling up. That one got basically 0, and this one got 0. So you crank the grinding wheel in to set your depth of grind, and this slides back and forth. So there's a gear and an Acme screw. You can see the hump. It's actually, it comes through and there's some gear reduction, and then there's the shaft that goes through the hump, and the Acme screw is back up here without hurting anything. So there's a flat way and there's a V way on, you know, this is called the wheel head, and the one on the table is the work head. So the wheel head, the grinding wheel head, goes in and out. Pumping the Doozer oiler, the flat way on this side, I got oil just, and I used red ATF so I could tell if it was coming through as opposed to white oil. This side was getting all slick and bleeding ATF, and I got the rag shoved in there. The other side was not, right? So there's the flat way. Let me show you down. There's the V way, right? So the flat way was oiling, the V way was not. Out of this side, I got nothing. Kind of show you. Yeah, this side was not juicing anything out. Well, so I put the carpet down so I could lay on my knees and on my butt, trying to get inside this evil labyrinth menagerie of a machine. So I shoved my, you can kind of see through the crack there. So the top is cast iron and the base is fabricated steel, right? So I hope I can show you this. All right. So looking up through the window where you stick your hands, the Bijur line, these are 5/32 copper lines. And there's the distribution manifold. And if you look, oh, hold on. Oh my God. Nope. Well, maybe you can see where that that yellow line is. What that is I took the Bijur fitting off. Hold on, maybe I can. Hold on, let me get the zoom going. You're gonna love this. So there's the manifold. And I took the Bijur fitting off. The copper line is dangling somewhere. And I put on an air hose, a 1/4 inch, so it's 1/8 inch pipe thread. And I tried putting an air hose on to unclog the fitting. Let me try to show you. No. Actually, better yet, God almighty. That's back out. If I flip my lamp around, my flash lamp, my torch as they call it. Alright, show you this side. Take my hat off, stick my face in here. Stick my camera. Oh my God. Alright. Alright, you can kind of see. Alright, so there's switches. And there is also lines. You can see the T. And then from the T, it goes. You can see there's Bijur fittings. Actually, if you look, there you go. You can see one. So the copper line comes from the split manifold T. And then the Bijur fitting is the hex intermediate piece. And then there's a 90-degree elbow. So the elbow is 1/8 inch pipe thread. It's a street L. The Bijur fitting is 1/8 inch pipe on the one side and 5/32 compression fitting with an olive on the other side. And the other lines are for the hydraulic cylinder. And there's a big spring which holds a tension on the backlash. And there's more fittings up there, which I can't see the camera viewfinder, but whatever. Okay. Okay. So anyhow, there's the manifold, and the hose is for the Acme nut. Let me show you, hold on. If you can look through the spring, there's an Acme nut. Anyhow, so that's what that's for. So that's all, and if you look, you can see the other, God, I hope you can see it. I think you can see. No. Yes. You can see the Bijur fitting. And it's dripping ATF, and that one's flowing just fine. But like I said, there's this distribution manifold, and then there's two of the T's up in the front. There's that one, and then there's another one. Okay, well, let's get out of here. This looks crazy. And if you can see, and there's hydraulic valves for the table, and just all kinds of crazy stuff. Let me get up, because I'm feeling old, because my body can't contort. All right. Oh, goodness. Let me stick my hat back on. So that's that. So, to recap, There's a beezer fitting there. One for the flat, one for the V, and I think there's one for the Acme nut on that hose. So this one was clogged, that one was clogged, and that one was clogged. I think, so anyhow, so that's that. So what do the beezer fittings look like? Well, so first of all, I got parts taken apart. My parts cart. That's the sub table that pivots, which your tailstock and your workhead are on. And I took it off the chain hoist, maybe it was that one. And I laid it on this handy dandy little wheeled cart. And just kind of used some nylon webbing to hoist it. But the parts washer is back. Darn the air compressor. Let me show you the beezer fittings. Arrow. FSA 2. And the flow is that way. So FSA 2. So it's a number 2 flow, and the arrow means it flows from the compression fitting side to the 1/8 inch pipe thread side. Now these jokers, there's 4 little holes in there. God, it never works. So there's 4 holes in there, and they're clogged, and they're staked in there. And in the flow to, from it side, down in there is a screen. Before the screen is a piece of cotton. There's 3 little cotton wads that I dug out of there. But like I said, there is a it might be a check valve of sorts. There is a pin, like a 30 thousandths pin, or maybe it's even smaller than that, 15 thousandths pin, something like that. And it meters an amount, a quantity of oil. I've been trying to clean them with this, and it goes pretty good. This thing, if I plug it in, I got lacquer thinner in here. You see it shimmer. You can hear it too. But anyhow, okay, leave it there. So I was trying to blow these, pressurize these with the air compressor. So what I came up with is this. And my adapter fittings over on the grinder on the air hose. So I go, 1/4 inch pipe to 1/8 inch pipe. So that's just coming off my air valve. So what I did here is I took an 1/8 inch union, or not a union, just a coupling. 1/8 inch coupling, female, and this is a tube nut, that I soldered, right? So it's made to have an olive in there, and it's made to have 5/32 tubing, and it's a tube nut. But I put a fancy schmancy O-ring down in there, and I just soldered this tube nut to the 1/8 inch pipe thread coupling. And I just soft soldered it. So what I can do, right, the one-handed situation here, just put on my belly and twist it. So you tighten it up. So now you're pressurizing the tube side, which is, you know, where the arrow direction is, with compressed air. And you can fill this full of lacquer thinner and compressed air, and then fill the whole hose up with lacquer thinner, hit the compressed air, and you can blow through there. I mean, it goes from the tubing side to the 1/8 inch pipe thread side. So you can't go the opposite way because it's a check valve and it just won't do jack nothing. It just won't work. So that's kind of my handy little thing. And you know, you can use soft solder and make a lot of little fittings for low to medium pressure, you know, just whatever. Okay. So I've been running that, and it's not really getting anywhere. Oh, they're soaking overnight, so maybe it'll be better. Which drawer is it? Is it this one? No. So my drawer of stuff, right? So, like, you know, these are great little organizer thingies. Here's all the old Beezer fittings off my Giddings and Lewis, and some are like this. MSA, and some are 1/8 inch pipe to 1/8 inch pipe, and some are, you can have them with flowing from tubing thread to 1/8 inch pipe thread with the arrow that way, or they make them the opposite way. I think the Harding has them the opposite way, because in the Harding there's a manifold and it feeds 1/8 inch pipe. There's the oil pump goes to the manifold, so it feeds from the 1/8 inch pipe thread side, and then it converts to tubing, and the tubing goes and connects down into where the ports are to feed the ways, you know. And I think they were $16 a piece. Yeah, FRA 0 and FRA 2. Those are the backwards fittings, and they're $16 and change a piece. And I had to order the fittings from these guys. Automation, there you go. So anyhow, that's what those jokers are about. Oh yeah, so I ordered a bunch of extra tube fittings. I think these are from McMaster Carr, and you know, they got the, so you can have either one. So there's the female tube cap, right? And then there's the male screw any type, right? And like I said, this is 5/32 tubing, and there's a furl, right? It's just a short piece of tube, right? And I got like an elbow piece. Then the furls are just, the olive and furl are kind of the same thing. People call them olives, they call them furls, and you know, whatever. So when I ordered from McMaster Carr, I got some of the hood, you know, the hoods are the female compression fittings, and then there's the male type. It's like a brake line deal, and these will screw together, right? That's how this, right? If it goes there, and then you can, you know, trust me, these will screw together. But I just wanted to show you my fittings collection and extra ferrules. Ferrules? I don't know how to say, I don't know, furls or ferrules. I figure I'd get an extra because you crush them and then they're on the tubing and you kind of, you know, they're used up, and this is just miscellaneous parts. These are ball lubricators for, you know, oil hole covers, whatever. The ball type, and this is press in for 1/4 inch. And then they got the cap type. These are called GITS fittings, G-I-T-S, GITS. So, let me see, was this focusing? Come on. All right. So the new ones have a G on top, and the quality is not really good, right? These are just not good. Sharp edges, the spring is kind of janky-danky. But if I got like an old one, I don't even know if that's a GITS. That might be, yeah, that might be a GITS. They're just better. They're just better. Like here's a, yeah, the old ones say GITS Brothers, you know, and there's no sharp edges, and the spring is nicely finished. The old ones are just so much better, but the new ones with the G on them are just terrible. They cut you. So, you know, if you buy the old ones, right? Come on, focus. I think that's an older one. There's a lot of different quality levels throughout the years. Like the real old ones are just top notch, and like you can't even see GITS on. I kind of went overboard on the Oilers here, and they make bigger ones, and you know, just whatever. But that's the Oiler cups, and you know, that's how that works. But just whatever. But I'm pretty proud of this. Right. So as I said, I'm cleaning them in the ultrasonic, right? I'll probably just end up buying new ones because they're just sucking to try and clean them. Oh, and this is a 5/32 tubing, right? And you know, McMaster car, sight glasses, you know, whatever. It's just a lot of stuff. So, back on this. What I've done to try and see if I can get some lubrication going. So right now there's 100 psi of air at the fitting for the V side. And I know this is attached to the Acme screw, but you can pick it up a little bit, right? You can see the gap on the right? I know my screwdriver's in the way. So you can create a gap by prying up on the ways, and you got absolutely no flow, right? No flow. The flat side is flowing perfect, but this side is not. So, despite, see, I just got my air compressor line, and I got a needle valve, and I'm just trying to force some air pressure through that, right? And it's just not, it's not having it, right? I got it cracked open, and it's not doing it. So, this whole thing, do I need to take this off to clean the ways. Because either it was, I think it was never drilled through from when it was brand new or something. Something's clogging it. And it's not the metering unit, because that one was the only one that was flowing. That one was clogged and that one was clogged. But the metering unit itself was flowing, okay? But oil was not coming out, and even with the air hose to that port going up as I showed you inside there, it's not coming out. So something's clogged on the V-way, and 100 psi of air is not clearing it. And even lifting up the V-way off the other, you know, lifting the separating, you know, the male and the female ways, it's not yielding any flow. So some's clogged hard on the V-way side of that. So I got to take it off. How do I take it off? Well, first you got to take the Acme screw out, right? Which is, that's the Acme screw on the big gear. And how does that come off? And there's a little baby gear underneath it. You can't see it. So I'm assuming that this whole, see that it's split. So this whole gearbox thing comes off. So you take the hand wheel off, you take the dial off, and there's probably screws behind it. You take this off, and then you eventually, there's got to be a locking collar or something, and you can take the gear off. Well, I'd have to take, there's got to be either a pin or a set screw, or there's probably a tapered pin. And then you withdraw the whole thing, which would be a huge pain in the butt. It doesn't look like that gear will go through there. No, it won't. So somehow, looks like a big set screw, a big fatty 5/32 set screw. Okay, so I got to clean the shaft, pull that out. Okay, so get the screw out, and after I get the screw out and the casting off and everything pulled out, this sucker's heavy, right? And I wheeled this thing in here on the pallet jack, but it would be nice to put it under the I-beam. Well, if I look up, the I-beam ends over the headstock. Okay, so to get this thing under an I-beam, I'd have to put the pallet jack under it, right? And then the aisleway, you know, I've got that machine handle and that handle to contend with to get it, or I could put it under the I-beam. So really, I'd have to get the pallet jack and move this lathe over and crowd that machine to be able to get this thing. Because, and even I got my little vice table, and I got the SIP MP5. It'd just be a pain in the ass. So what I could probably do is go put a piece of all thread through the ceiling. All I need is a piece of 1/2 inch all thread. Hell, 3/8 would even work to put a hook, and just lift that up. Because it's clogged, and there ain't no, you can't use it really, I mean, with it clogged. So maybe this big whole spindle box with the oil pump and everything, and so I'll take off the pulley guard and the belt. I'll probably take this motor off. I think this is a 2-horse motor. I don't know. I don't think it's 3-horse. I think it's 2-horse. To make it lighter. So the motor I could wrestle off. I'm talking a lot, I know. Right? The motor I could wrestle off. Right? Make it lighter. And then this overhead grindy, right, this whole thing, sorry, that's heavy, right? That's some weight. And this is a bracket, right? So there's a nut, that's actually loose. So I drive this pin out, make it lighter, take this Rockwell precise thingy thing off for ID grinding. Doubtful that if this comes off, great, but I don't think it will. But somehow I just got to get this off. And it turned into, like I said, a lot of freaking effort, right? So here's the machine. Right, so the top half has to come off. So I'll try to make it light as possible. Maybe I'll put a sky hook in. Just what I'll do is it's 2x12s in the ceiling, so I'll just put a piece of 3/8 or 1/2 inch all thread, and I'll put a big washer or a board or a plate or something. I'll put a plate up top. So that's my plan. It's crazy. It's a lot, and I didn't plan on doing this, and I've been cleaning this with lacquer thinner. I've just been wiping grunge off. Like I said, the cylinder works. The cylinder doesn't even leak, but I probably will throw some U-cups in it while it's apart. But that's the next thing, is to get this working, right? Let me talk at the camera again. So if you don't get the Bijur cups the Bijur cups, the Gitz cups. If you don't get the Bijur metering units unclogged and the pump working, and as you can see, my pump works. I can either clean or replace the Bijur metering units, but something's clogged on the slideway of the grinder, the grinding head, the in-out of the head. So that's where I'm at, right? And you know, I had some time off here for Christmas. I kind of got into this, and I didn't want to because it started as cleaning something small. But this will be a super duper useful grinder in the shop, as well as the Brown & Sharp 13. This thing has 5C capacity, which the 13 does not. And it has hydraulic table traverse back and forth, which the 13 does not. And it's got an ID attachment, which I got one for the 13, I just haven't made it yet. So thanks for watching. I'm feeling a little overwhelmed with the multiplied things of stuff to do here with this grinder. Oh, let me show you real quick and I'll let you go. The stock came in, the tubing came in for the tailstock, right? So remember I was talking about threading this 2 3/8 thread. Well, the tubing came in, right? So I bought this. This is a drop. I think this is like 10 inches. So this is 2.5 outside, 2 3/16 on the inside. So I'm kind of, there you go. So that's going to screw on there once I'm done cutting threads inside and outside and da-di-da-da. So that'll be awesome. I mean, it might not be that long, but you know, that's kind of what the deal is. All right, so that's good, and I hope you enjoyed this update. I hope you learned a little bit about the lubrication system of machines if you weren't intimately familiar with the Bijur system. Usually you just replace the metering units. But for some reason this grinder has a clogged something in the ways, in the drillings where the oil goes from the Bijur and the casting to the V-way. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'll try to figure out how to take this apart. Until next time, have a good new year. This is Doozer Shop.